Follow me, gentlemen.
What are you laughing at? Who's laughing? Don't follow her, you fools. Leave the house while you're still alive.
Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and for our second film in which we look at comedy teams in horror flicks, this one is going to need a little background on studios. Studios were always trying to, especially back in the golden age, trying to copy what was successful at another studio. When Paramount had great success, and then later MGM had great success with the Marx Brothers, Fox decided to find their own troupe of comedy brothers and sign the Ritz Brothers to a series of films. You can't find a comedy team to fit that kind of category. You could do what RKO did, which was they wanted a comedy team like Abbott and Costello, who were very big, making tons of hit films over at Universal. So they grabbed a couple of players under contract, Carney and Brown, billed them as a comedy team, and threw them in a short-lived series of films that were a little funny, but again, you have that problem of these are two people who are thrown together who do not have an act. So they're kind of making it up on the run, as it were. And they don't have the chemistry you get from an act that's been honing their style over, live performances and then radio and all these other things. But it was always an option. And Monogram apparently wanted to have an act like the Three Stooges. Well, they couldn't find a team like the Three Stooges. So they grabbed up three players who were basically comedic supporting actors and threw them together for, I think it was like 3 films, maybe 4. The second of which is this film, Ghost Crazy, also known as Crazy Nights. Our team consists of Billy Gilbert, a man who honed his style on vaudeville starting at the age of 12. He was best known for his prolonged sneeze act, where he would be about to sneeze and it would just it would just run it on for a little while before finally getting to the sneeze, if he sneezed at all. He played bit parts in big budget films like The Great Dictator and His Girl Friday, and he would play supporting roles in like some of the East Side Kids films like Mr. Wise Guy, also at Monogram. Our second comedian is Shemp Howard, a very popular supporting player. Again, he was in all kinds of films, dramas like I can't believe I'm going to say this, the John Wayne drama Pittsburgh. Yes, Wayne did do dramas back in the days before he became a strictly action guy. And he was also in, let's see, what was it? Another Thin Man. And he was a clumsy gangster in Invisible Woman, and probably one of my favorites, the bartender who's in cahoots with W.C. Fields in The Bank Dick. And rounding, of course, then he would go on to sign on to become part of the Three Stooges when his brother, Jerome, aka Curly, suffered a stroke and could no longer perform. And sadly, he himself died of a heart attack in the mid-50s and would be replaced by Joe Besser for the end of the contract with the Stooges. And our third is Slapsie Maxie Rosenbloom. His name, Slapsie Maxie, came from his boxing days, where he was named that by a sports writer who was unimpressed with his tendency to slap his opponents. He very prolific boxer, and sadly his screen persona was of a kind of dim-witted, punch-drunk ex-fighter, which is tragically ironic considering punch drunkenness is called Paget's disease, and Rosenbloom himself would suffer from that deteriorating disease and pass away from it. Again, a lot of films. I remember him especially as the powder puff salesman in The Boogeyman Will Get You. I believe he was also the bartender in I Married a Monster from Outer Space, as well as TV appearances, usually as a thug. I think one of them was Man from U.N.C.L.E. Anyway, those are our three comedians. But this film is odd in that the vast majority of runtime, all three of them aren't together. It's mostly Billy Gilbert and Shemp. Maxie doesn't really join up as the trio until like the last quarter of the film, maybe last third, which, I don't know, that's just the way they made it. We open with Billy Gilbert as a great jungle explorer at a carnival.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you realize that it wasn't courage. That courage was the only requisite to tame this beast, to capture him in his own habitat.
After a very elaborate introduction to how he caught the gorilla, Barney, everybody goes inside to see the act, of which Barney is one of the smartest creatures in the world.
He will do mathematics for you. And now, Barney, tell the ladies and gentlemen, how much are 2 and 2? That's right, 4, that's right.
Of course, backstage after the show, we find out how it's actually done.
Good night, Charlie. Boy, I'm glad that's the last time I have to get in this turkish bath with fur. Yeah, we can.
Yep. There's a real gorilla and Shemp in a costume. The real gorilla is used at the front to entice everyone in, and then Shemp takes over as the fake gorilla. The act. After a bit of daydreaming about going on vacation to like California, Canada, and what was the other one? I think Tahiti, maybe. But since they've only got about $20 between them, their manager, Dan, informs them that all they're going to be doing is going to the next show. So the next day they pack up everything and they head out, at which point we cut to Slapsie, who is a chauffeur, and he's taking his boss's niece, Joan, and her uncle, Secretary Williams, to their what would you call it, getaway house, and they discuss some threatening letters their uncle has gotten. About this time, Williams's hat flies out the window, and he has him stop so he can retrieve it.
Smoke.
Coming from the engine. It must be on fire. You better get out because that's what I'm going to do.
Gee, wasn't that lucky if William said his hat went off at just that time? Sure, it was just a coincidence. Anyway, the engine is toast. Luckily, Dan, Billy, and Shemp pull up with their trailer where Barney stays. And Glad offer to give them a lift. Maxie is told to stay behind to either get the car running or wait for a tow truck. So they head on up to the house where during the ride Dave is a bit smitten by Joan, much to William's chagrin.
There's really nothing to worry about. I've been upset about other things. Wouldn't you like to come in for a minute and have a drink?
I think Mr. Hammond and his friends are in a hurry, Joan. We can spare a few minutes. I think the boys would like that.
No, they would not.
You know, there's something about this place I don't like.
Yeah, and there it is right there.
How do you like that? A cemetery right in their own front yard.
Let's get out of here.
Of course, they have a right to feel a little trepidatious, as soon as they get in the house, a disembodied voice tells them to leave, and then just to punctuate it, gives a patented evil laugh.
Dave! 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 There's a guy out there and he ain't there either. What are you talking about? No kidding, we heard him. I saw him with my own ears.
I like that wordplay. I saw it with my own ears. So of course they're not believed, but the housekeeper and the electrician are acting a little suspicious.
You usually work in the dark?
I'll look someplace else.
Yeah. Just kind of looking at each other like that. Mighty interesting. Well, of course, Shemp and Billy get to be proven right about their suspicions once Joan is left alone and the lights go out. She turns out to be okay once they wake her up from her faint. Well, this is too much for Dave. He's bound and determined to help her. And he and the boys will be glad to help, won't they?
I suggest we search the house and the grounds. If we don't find anyone, I think we should call the police. The boys and I will be glad to help you. Won't we, fellas? No. Yes. I was a little too quick for you that time, wasn't I? Oh.
Hey, we got some Stooges slapstick there. But that's not all. Billy and Shemp have to go upstairs to search. And while in looking around one of the rooms, they put a bit of a twist on an old Abbott and Costello routine.
That old guy keeps bothering me. What old guy? The old guy in the picture with the long mustache and the big beard. Where's the picture? Right over there. Where? Over there. Oh. He's telling me that when I sit... It ain't a mustache. It ain't sideburns. He's got a little muff down there. A head trim. What's the matter with you? Are you losing your mind? No. I'm telling you the...
I'll settle this once and for all.
Listen.
Either Either you or we have got to leave this room.
All right, I'll go.
See, I told you I'd fix it.
You see, where Abbott and Costello would just have Costello seeing the thing and Abbott never seeing what it was that scared him. This time, they both get scared. Although Abbott and Costello were funnier. Anyway, after that bit of frivolity, we get more serious when something happens to Joan's uncle.
Uncle! Is he hurt?
He's out like a
He's all right. Let's get him up on the bed. Come on.
we got that shit.
Meanwhile, someone's at the door.
Oh, it's you. What kept you?
I got in a beef with some wise guy. If I ever get my quiet.
More important things to do.
Are they all here?
Yes, come this way.
Now, earlier in the film, while Maxie was trying to fix the car, he had a run-in with this guy.
What's the matter? You got a wrench? Monkey wrench? Oh, don't get personal. I'm stuck with my car. I want to get fixed. I'm sorry, but I'm in a hurry.
Let's take a few minutes, fella.
Your engine would like to do something.
Gee, you're a generous fella. You're one of those good Samaritans I've been listening to. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me fix your windshield.
Oh, you don't have to bother.
Oh, don't trouble at all.
Hey! Hey, you, hey! Stop! I can't see.
That's the generous idea, you fool, you. Go on.
Well, I'm sure that will have no bearing on anything that happens in the rest of the film. Back to the house. At this point, Dave has decided they're going to stay the night. Billy and Shemp aren't too thrilled with that, but they get put in the room they were in before, and Shemp gets ready for bed when Billy sees a ghost out in the cemetery. And inexplicably, they decide to investigate. Why? Plot. That's why.
You look over there, and I'll look over here. And if you see anything, call me. Oh, Billy! What's the matter? What's the matter? I'm just testing my pipes. Right there. I knew it was a phony.
Well, obviously they rush to tell Dave and show him the costume, but when they get back to the cemetery, Billy can't get the tombstone to move. So again, they're not believed, even though he's got the costume with him. Well, about this time, Slapsie, Maxie, has gotten tired of waiting. It's gotten dark. He can't really try and fix the car now, so he's walked on back to the house. And guess whose room they happen to have put Billy and Shemp in?
There ain't a moth in there doing this.
All right, you can let him out. I got him covered. Hey, what's the idea locked me up in this closet, huh?
So he had a gun.
We're sorry, Maxie. There's been a slight mistake.
When did you get back? Oh, a little while ago.
There's a gorilla outside.
Besides the two I see in here.
They give Maxie some pretty good lines there. Anyway, everybody's going to go to bed. At which point we get a very interesting thing where the guy that was put down in the cellar by the housekeeper spies the electrician sneaking into their room. And Maxie has spotted the guy he had the run-in with back out on the highway following the electrician, so he follows him into the room.
What is it? I don't know, but if it's a crap game, you stay out of it. You're unlucky. I got my own dice. Let me go, will you? Let me get in there.
I like the little line they formed. Each got hit. Well, the electrician gets away, and when they turn the lights on, the man they've caught, who Slapsie is going to try and rough handle, explains to everyone, because everyone's come to the room again, that he's a private detective who was hired by the housekeeper to investigate the letters and everything that's been going on. The uncle begins to suspect that Williams might be behind this, a way to scare everyone away, woo Joan, and get her inheritance. Meanwhile, Billy and Shemp are getting tired of being scared. They decide Shemp will put on the gorilla costume and scare the scarers. Unfortunately, the mysterious mastermind behind all this has let Barney out of his cage, so that we get, just like last week, a great bit of misunderstanding between our two comedy leads.
Not only do you look like a gorilla, you're starting to smell like one. Come on, follow me, but not too close.
Well, realizing the truth, Shemp and Billy run and hide. Whereupon, Maxie then makes the acquaintance of Barney.
Let me alone now. Let me alone, I warn you. Get away. Take my way out, Mike. Get away from me, I said it. Come on. I had to stop. I'll kill you. Get out of there. Get it. Okay, you asked for it.
Of course, all this yelling gets Dave and Joan's attention, and they go downstairs where they revive Maxie and think at first Shemp is the one who scared him because he's in the costume, but once they explain that Barney's escaped, Dave realizes they have to recapture him, and they leave Joan alone, which was a big mistake. Hearing Joan's cry, they all rush back inside, because they were looking for Barney outside, and up in Maxie's room make a grisly discovery.
Nobody here. Yes, there is. Look. It's Maxie. Is he all right?
Yeah, he's alive.
How can you tell? Oh, it's awful. I heard a scream just like it was in this room.
Take it in without a broom.
Why didn't you scream? Look.
Dead.
Dead. Dead! Oh, come on. I gotta get out. There's too many stay in this room now.
There's a bit of dark humor in this film. Anyway, Dave goes to search the cellar, and Billy, Shemp, and Maxie, they're finally all together now. They go to investigate the cemetery, see if they can find that tunnel, which Maxie does.
Listen, I'm telling you, it opened. I never touched it. All I can do...
If you're doing this, convince me you're getting no place.
Doing what?
Well, Dave makes an interesting discovery and goes upstairs to get Grogan, which he brings back down. Our three stooges light, shall we say, actually, they don't actually want to go down into the tunnel, but Billy, using his black gun, forces them down. Anyways, they find some candles and they go exploring, at which point they come upon a crossroads.
Maxie, you go into that tunnel, and Shemp, you go into that one. What are you going to do? Well, I'll stay here and see how you make out. I mean, look, I'll protect you. I'll stand guard so nobody can hurt you. But when they need...
Of course, they all get scared of one thing or another.
tell me the way to the graveyard?
Straight down, bear right, and then make a snappy left.
Thank you.
It's quite all right.
Oh, it's out. Somebody...
Have a light, Bud?
Oh, thank you. That's better.
Wait a minute. Are you afraid someone is following you? Well, they are.
Well, taking off at a fast run, they run into the cellar, where Dave was showing Grogan the entrance to the tunnel he had found. And just then, they find the electrician with Joan.
Wait a minute. I'll take her. You take...
Well, that takes care of him, but there's still the ghost to contend with.
Yeah, we gotta get him.
There's another man in there, and he has a gun.
I'll see you later. Come back here, you fellas. I'll stay right. Got a gun.
Yes, I've got a gun. Stay right where you are.
Okay, boys, come and get him.
Wonder who it is. I mean, William's dead, the electrician's knocked out. Maybe it's that guy that does all that mysterious voice stuff. It was the uncle all the time. Obvious in hindsight. But what about that guy who's doing all the mysterious voices?
The final blow will be struck tonight. You better leave before it's too late tonight. The final blow will be struck tonight. You better leave before it's too late. The final blow will be struck tonight. You better leave before it's too late. The final blow...
Well, that just leaves the explanation.
I figured out the whole thing. I figured that Gardner wanted to get rid of you on account of your money. Then I figured, we figured that Williams knew all about it, so Gardner had to get rid of him. Then I figured what... All right, we figured that the electrician and the bald-headed man were hired to scare us away, so Gardner would have a free hand.
I like how the detectives try to take credit for everything, and the housekeeper's not about to let him. Especially because he really didn't do that much. Even knocking out the electrician was Dave, and taking out the ghost, that was the housekeeper. Yet he's wanting all the credit. Well, the only thing left is to catch Barney, and we can have the credits roll.
We found the gorilla! Irrefutably. He's right over here.
And thus we come to an end of another iffy comedy. There's some good one-liners in it, a little bit of slapstick. The mystery's no great shakes. The gorilla's underused, but the repartee between Billy Gilbert and Shemp Howard is pretty good. Slapsie's kind of underused. He's not even necessary to be there. It could have just been Shemp and Billy Gilbert. He doesn't even join them as a trio until the last 10 minutes. Before that, he's just trying to get away from everybody. But he does get some good one-liners. The plot's a very standard mystery. It's not that difficult to figure out who the culprit was. And the romance is kind of tepid. I mean, good-looking guy, good-looking girl. Not much personality of both, but pretty standard for the time, especially in low-budget films. It's kind of de rigueur. You have to have a romantic subplot, usually with one of the heroes. And he's kind of the straight man for the comedians. But it's an okay. It's got some humor in it, and there's a couple of good suspense shots, but all in all, it's just a basic programmer. Nothing to get all excited about. One of those things that you'd watch if it popped up on late night, but not one you'd set out to see, you know, not like, say, like The Cat and the Canary with Bob Hope. That one, that's a great old dark house mystery. In fact, it kind of jump-started the whole revival in the 40s, where, you know, every comedian was doing one. You know, Abbott and Costello, and the Three Stooges would have tons of those kind of shorts. And, well, even the Ritz brothers, they did The Gorilla. But that Bob Hope one, that's one's up there. That's like the cream of the crop. That and his follow-up Ghost Breakers, which Martin and Lewis remade in the 50s as Scared Stiffs. Anyway, about this film. The three comedians, they're likable, but they don't really, you know, have that kind of chemistry that you get from a comedy team. And they did very well in other endeavors, especially Shemp. He fit right in with the Stooges. My favorite of his shorts is, I don't know if it's the one where they're tailors, but it's the one where he inadvertently swallows a stolen diamond and they go through all kinds of shenanigans to get it to come out. There's one where Mo sticking these ice tongs, tried to stick them down his throat to get the diamond back. Yeah, gotta love Stooges and their utter silliness. Anyways, like I said, it's an okay. It's a programmer. You'd see it in like a matinee or something back in the 40s. But as comedians go, they're better actually just on their own. Although Gilbert and Shemp could have made a good comedy team, but Maxie's sort of unnecessary. But I guess they felt they had to have three. There you are. Next week will be a bit of a better one. And I do have some things I liked about this one. Some of the one-liners. So please hit like, share, subscribe, and stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
Why can't you? The wind was against me.